Hey, what's up guys? Min City here, back again with another video, and today we are taking a look at Invictus Lost Soul. Now, what is Invictus Lost Soul? This is a strategy fighting game available on the App Store. The link to the game will be in the description down below for iOS as well as Android if it's available for Android. Now let's get right into it. Now, this game is very similar to Power Rangers Legacy Wars. Now, if you guys have played that, then you kind of have a general idea of what this is and why it's different from other fighting games on the App Store. But if you don't, I'll be getting into the details of that. Now, it does do some things differently too, so stick around even if you know what Power Rangers Legacy Wars is. Now, first and foremost, this is a 2D fighting game where it has a mixture of real-time choices along with strategic, almost turn-based choices, and we'll get into that later. Now, as a fighter, you can equip a variety of equipment, and you can equip a variety of abilities, attacks, and defensive maneuvers. Now, there are 3 classes that you could choose from, and I'm sure other ones will be added later on in the game. But there is a longsword class, a shield and short sword class, and a battle axe class, so to speak. Now, the longsword is a mixture of offensive and defensive strengths. The shield and short sword class is more of a defensive and agility strengths with lighter attacks. And then the battle axe is just purely offensive, and you go for heavy damage and it's unblockable. So you kind of have to feel out your play style as you play, and those are the 3 classes that you can choose from. Now, with these classes, each of these classes are basically a different character for you to play, and each of them have their own sets of abilities to equip to, as well as equipment. So that's good to keep in mind. Now, whenever you are fighting people, it's a one-on-one situation. Whenever you're fighting people, there will be a front and back arrow that you can press in real time to move towards your opponent and away from your opponent. So you have to strategically maneuver close to them and far away from them depending on what's happening in the fight. Now, there's a mana gauge that is constantly charging up to 10, and with that mana gauge, you're able to use your abilities. Now, your abilities are basically cards in the bottom right-hand corner, and each of those have a certain mana cost. Now, you have to use those strategically at the right time while you're within the right distance of your opponent for them to work and be utilized effectively. Now, some of these can be comboed really well too, so you basically have a hand of those abilities at any time, and whenever you use one, it will disappear, and it'll tell you what the next card is, and then it'll be put in your hand, and then you'll be able to tell what the next card after that is. So there is a little bit of luck involved depending on what abilities you have afforded to you at one time, but there is a lot of strategy with positioning your character effectively and reacting to what your opponent is doing and managing your mana gauge effectively. Now, it can be a little bit frustrating. It was for me at the start to the learning curve and how to effectively use defensive maneuvers against your opponents too, but those are very, very time-based oriented, and it's very important to know when to use those. So that's basically the gist of the fighting mechanics. And when you win, you win gold, and it kind of has a trophy system similar to Clash Royale where you work your way up through the ranks. Now, this game has PvP as a single-player mode or a campaign mode, so to speak. Then it also has like boss fights and other game modes that are more limited time events for you to play. Now, with this, obviously the PvP, that can be pay to win, and that gets us into our monetization model. And so with your equipment and your abilities, there are 2 different kinds of loot boxes, so to speak. And with those loot boxes, your equipment, they'll give you random equipment. With your abilities, it'll give you new abilities as well as copies of existing abilities that you have. You collect copies and then you level them up with in-game currency to make them more powerful. So inherently, someone who's choosing to buy these loot boxes instead of earning them slowly over time will have an advantage. And it's something we see in a lot of PvP games, unfortunately, but it is here in this game. So just know that sometimes you'll go against someone who's obviously been playing for longer than you or who has paid money, and you'll just get obliterated no matter what you do. But most of the time, it does put you against someone of a similar level and skill level, which is good. Now, you can buy premium currency, which can be spent on those loot boxes that I've said, or there's really cool cosmetics in this game, actually. So it'll give your character a skin, a full skin to wear, and they have limited time cosmetics and stuff of that nature. So I don't mind the cosmetics side, and I think they're really well done because it is a relatively good looking game. Now, there is a battle pass on top of that. So the battle pass, you have, I don't remember how many tiers. I think it's like 30 tiers to move through. And seasons in the battle pass are very short for this game. They're like 21 days, I think. So it almost doesn't even feel like a season, so to speak. It's just kind of some rewards that you can grind through. But free players get a ton of rewards from that as well. You can pay $5 to unlock both sides, the premium side and still continue to get the free side of the battle pass if you choose. So there's a lot of monetization, and stuff like that. And with the single player mode, there is an energy system. So that's kind of unfortunate. I don't like energy systems in games. This one has one, so just keep that in mind. But there's daily quests, challenges, all of that, and I am having fun. I actually really liked Power Rangers Legacy Wars. I just got burnt out on collecting shards to get the newest characters, and it was very grindy. With this one, I feel like, oh, I don't have to get shards of characters. I already have abilities afforded to me. I can just use those. So I don't know. It all depends. It has a very slow, methodical combat feel similar to Dark Souls, and it has that unique blend of real-time and turn-based mechanics. So hopefully this helped you guys decide whether you want to spend time with this game. Please leave a like and pop us up if you guys are new or you enjoy mobile gaming content, because that's all I make on this YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your guys' continued support. Leave a comment down below. What's your favorite 2D fighting game on the App Store? Have you played anything quite like this? Let me know. I'm curious to know if you made it to this point in the video. I appreciate you guys, and take it easy.